Hi there, movie fans. For this video I was inspired by Mr. Joel 450. He has done a couple of videos in which he showed his Criterion collection, and I want to do the same thing. I'm going to show you my Criterion collection. So let's see what I got. I'm going to show this in alphabetical order, by the way. First one is Ace in the Hole, one of Billy Wilder's best films and one of Kirk Douglas's best performances. Now, when this movie came out in 1951, it was a box office failure, so the studio, Paramount Pictures, decided to re-release the movie under another title, which was The Big Carnival, but it didn't work. It still was a failure at the box office. But nowadays, of course, this has been considered a classic, and rightfully so, because this is a great film. This. Next up is a box set, Akira Kurosawa, 4 Samurai Classics, which contains, well, 4 Samurai Classics. Let me show you what it has. It has, of course, The Seventh Samurai, The Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro. 4 great films of a great director, Akira Kurosawa. Next is Armageddon. Yes, there is a Criterion release of this movie, believe it or not. It's one of the few, one of the few Hollywood blockbusters that Criterion has released. A much better movie than Armageddon is Army of Shadows by Jean-Pierre Melville. It's a great film about the French resistance during World War II. Here's another great film as well, The Battle of Algiers by Gillo Pontecorvo. This is an absolutely wonderful set, a 3-disc set with lots of bonus materials and a small book. Bicycle Thieves, which is a very beautiful and emotional story about a father and his son, directed by Vittorio De Sica. And the actors in this film are all amateurs. There's not one professional actor in this movie, which is unbelievable. They really act like they've acted years before. And even the little boy in this movie is absolutely amazing. Next is Black Narcissus. This is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Directed by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. I have ordered the Blu-ray version of Black Narcissus. I still have to get that one. I think I might get it sometime next week, so I'm going to show you that in my next update video. Something completely different than Black Narcissus is The Blup, one of Steve McQueen's first movies. Next up is Brazil by Terry Gilliam. This is the original version, by the way. There's also a new version that came out a couple of years ago. Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard. This is a wonderful set as well. Next one is Brute Force by Jules Dassin. Very underrated movie by a very underrated director. Next up is The Canterbury Tale, or A Canterbury Tale. Another movie by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, the directors of Black Narcissus. I haven't seen this movie yet. I still have to see it. Le Cercle Rouge, or the Red Circle. Another movie by Jean-Pierre Melville. Wonderful gangster movie. Now this is a movie that I absolutely love. Charade, with Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn. I really adore this movie. This is also called the best Hitchcock movie that Hitchcock has never made. You know, a lot of people thought this was a Hitchcock movie, but Hitchcock had nothing to do with it. But it does look like a Hitchcockian thriller. Next is The Complete Mr. Armageddon, a.k.a. A Confidential Report, written and directed by Orson Welles. This has three different versions of the film. Next one is Equinox. This is actually a little amateur film that was co-directed by Dennis Muren. Dennis Muren nowadays is better known as a visual effects artist who done movies like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, and so on and so on. And he made this in the late 1960s. And the monsters are stop motion effects, the Ray Harryhausen like stop motion. Europa by Lars von Trier. I really believe this is his best film. I mean, I'm not a big von Trier fan, but this is I really enjoy this film. This reminds me a little bit of a Hitchcockian thriller. Takes place right after the ending of World War II. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, another Terry Gilliam movie. Of course, Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro. The Furies, which is an excellent western by Anthony Mann, which stars Barbara Stanwyck, and it also stars Walter Huston, and this is actually his final film. Walter Huston was also John Huston's father. John Huston, of course, he was the director of The Maltese Falcon, and The Man Who Would Be King, and Prizzi's Honor. And he also directed his own father in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Great film, The Furies.